So
I'll never forget the time me and my brother snuck out past our bedtimes to explore an allegedly haunted house down the block.
What?
Yes, I said bedtime, as I was only 10 and my brother Luke was only 12. When our parents said goodnight to us, I went to Luke's room and we took a couple hand-powered flashlights with us and hopped outside through the window. Luckily, his room was on the first floor. Those hand-powered flashlights worked by constantly pushing in a little trigger that would create light inside the lens.
Right.
They were noisy as hell, but they were convenient. Once we were outside, we just walked down the block, and in 2 minutes we were there. It was rumored by all the neighborhood kids and teens that the place was haunted. Everything about it was creepy. The older, more antique design of the house, the isolation from the rest of the houses, and the broken windows and rotting wood.
The fuck is wrong with you people? Like, that's a genuine question. Like, what the fuck? You tell me something is haunted, you best believe I'm not going nowhere near that house. But you want to go past your fucking bedtime. You know what my bedtime is? Between 11 at night and at 1. Anytime after that or between there until 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm not like, nah. I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying my ass in the house unless, can't really think of nothing right now. I would be asleep. Me and Peanut. Peanut just came out of nowhere too. How you doing, Peanut? Okay, cool. You're not going there,
It seemed perfect for a horror movie. We went around to the backyard. This was all my curious and confident brother's idea.
The fuck?
I was scared shitless. The door was locked, as expected. I felt a bit of relief, thinking we might just go home, but my brother made a shocking move next. He grabbed a plank of wood laying in the grass and began smashing the already chipped window.
So now you make it.
Eventually there was enough of an opening to unlock it and slide it up completely.
Now you're making noise. Like,
we hopped inside and began cranking those noisy-ass flashlights. Immediately after entering the house, we both picked up on the fact that it was like 90 degrees in there, which was odd as it was a September night in the mid-70s.
Ass.
There was no graffiti or anything anywhere. In fact, it was relatively empty besides a few pieces of furniture that were clearly not worth taking along. It seemed we were the first to enter the house, shockingly, or at least from the back. We went upstairs to the main floor from the little den area and continued cranking the flashlights. That's when we heard the slightest crack in the floorboards from right above us. We both jumped. I tugged for Luke to leave, but he told me the place is old as hell. It's just house noises.
Fuck that.
I stopped cranking the flashlight at this point, and I urged Luke to do the same, but he only called me stupid for suggesting something so ridiculous. Then there was another crack in the floorboards from above us.
Somebody in that bitch.
He began walking upstairs. I didn't want to go up there, but I was not about to stay down there alone. I followed behind him to the upstairs. There was a door that led to a room right above where we were standing. I begged him not to open it, but he must have just wanted to be the big, tough older brother. He began to reach for the doorknob while still cranking the noisy flashlight, but then he stopped. I was confused. I could see in the dark he was moving his ear up against the door, listening for something. Silence. Then, the most deafening, nightmare-inducing moment of my life. A single bang on the door from the other side sent my brother staggering into the wall in pain, covering his ear. We dropped the flashlights and ran straight out the back door and back home. We were so loud when we got back that our parents found us out. We told them what happened, but they naturally didn't care and grounded us both for a week. 2 nights later, I woke to the sound of something from outside my window and a glare of brightness sneaking in through my slightly opened blind. I sat up, and my heart sank when I realized it was the sound of the crank to my flashlight. I stood up and looked out the window, and that's when it stopped. There was nothing but complete blackness out there after that. I woke the next day barely remembering what happened, and I still hope today that that part was just a dream.
Nah, you could have got your shit fucked up. Fucking bullshit. What the fuck?
This is a story that happened to me recently. I was still in my first year of university, and I've only just made friends with a few other students. Albeit an old and notorious university for its ghostly figures and paranormal activity, the campus janitors and security were all too familiar with unusual reports. The art and design faculty was subjected to the oldest campus of the 4 separate buildings, and the block my class happened to progress in was the allegedly haunted section as well.
Wow.
It was late in the afternoon, just before 5, and my friend needed to use the restroom. She asked me to accompany her, and I obliged, seeing it as an opportunity to rest my eyes from the strains of the projector. She rushed into one of the stalls, and I waited outside the bathroom.
Okay.
Feeling that she would take longer than I initially anticipated, I decided to walk back to class without telling her.
You dick.
As soon as I sat down, she barged into the class, calling out for me. According to her claim, she heard the sink's tap turn on and thought it was me playing a prank. As she opened the door, she saw no one else in the restroom besides herself, yet the other stall next to her was locked from the inside. Thinking it was someone else on the toilet, she asked if it was me. No answer. Curious, she looked down the gap but saw no shoes or legs, yet heard feminine whispers and humming from that particular stall.
No, you didn't.
Frightened, she left without saying another word. Class ended and we went home, but the thought of the occurrence remained. We later learned from one of the janitors that no one should ever be in the restroom after 5 in the evening,
Why?
as there is a known ghost of a woman who resides in the stalls. Needless to say, as juniors in the university, my friends and I decided to never use the bathrooms after the designated time.
No shit.
I'm not in any way saying these claims are true, but everything I told you is true in regards to what I was told. Whether these things I was told by my friend and the janitor are true or not remains a mystery to me.
If I hear some shit, what the fuck?
This happened a few months ago while I was serving in Japan as a missionary for the Mormon Church. I was in the country for 2 years, and my time to return home was approaching. I was in my last area, Kyoto, a bustling tourist attraction, an ancient Japanese city I'd wanted to visit all my life. Anyway, it was late at night, and my companion and I were knocking on doors to see if anyone had interest in learning about Christ. We came across this one apartment building and decided to give it a shot. In Japan, there are 3 kinds of apartments: super luxurious suites, decent apartments with 4 to 5 rooms total, or ghetto as crap. This apartment was the latter. We were on the 2nd floor of this building and knocked on this one door. A middle-aged man in worn-out clothes answered with an awkward smile on his face. Being the kind missionaries we were, we introduced ourselves and asked him if he would like to learn about what we believe.
No.
Instead of giving us a direct answer, he invited us in.
Nah.
Usually, in missionary work, this is a good sign, but upon stepping foot into that apartment, I knew what we got ourselves into.
Run back to...
This apartment reeked with the smell of marijuana and urine. His apartment was puny: a small entryway, a door on the left leading into a bathroom, a small kitchen to the right, and a small multi-purpose room with a small kneeling table, TV, and bed. That's it. Judging by the way he was behaving and most of the decor in his apartment, I knew this guy definitely had some sins worth confessing. He sat us down on either side of the table and started to rant on about how he hates Christians and wants to kill them.
Wow.
That made my companion and I tense up a bit. But the man was plastered. In the time this was going on, he drank like 10 times his weight in booze. We just prayed and hoped he wouldn't recognize who we were and what he was telling us.
Get out!
Then he said, "I'm going to tell you a secret and you can't tell anyone." He then pulled out from under his bed a box. He opened it to reveal thousands and thousands of dollars worth of Japanese yen.
Okay.
And yes, it was authentic. We even examined it. This man was an illegal drug lord who worked with the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia group. We then realized that if this man knew what he just did and showed us, he would kill us for sure, or at least take us hostage. My companion and I feared for our lives and tried to come up with an excuse to get away. but he wouldn't let us go. He kept ranting on about irrelevant things and saying how Christianity was an evil cult of some kind.
Y'all fucking bullshitting. Are you fucking serious? Like, really? Like, you fucked up by going into the man's house. Like, come on. You fucked up by going into the man's house that you don't know. Alright, now that you're in, you can't leave. He's not gonna let you leave. You best believe, if I was in your, first of all, if I was in your situation, I would not just be going to no random dude's or stranger's house, let alone inside. That's where you fucked up. But hey, if I was there, I would have either told you, stop, or that's it. Stop, come with me, and haul ass. That's it. But nah. You don't want to listen to fucking me. You want to do, see? I don't know what else to say to you, like, cause what, that makes no fucking sense. Now he's not letting you leave. You better leave. I would have found some way out. I would have did something to leave his fucking premises. You best believe that.
We tried to explain our side of the story, but there's no use in reasoning with a drunk drug lord who works for the Japanese mafia. It then got to the point where we practically had to run for the door. We said we were leaving, stood up, and quickly walked over to the door. The guy then stood up and began to reach for something in a box, but we never saw what it was. As soon as the door closed, we bolted home, faster than we ever had. The last thing we wanted was him sobering up to find out he had revealed his deepest, darkest secrets to 2 Christian missionaries from America. Had this man not been drunk, he probably would have killed us. For all we know, he was reaching for a gun as we were leaving. When I was 15 years old, I was home alone one night for whatever reason. My bedroom was on the first floor, right next to the living room. It's a strange setup. I had the door shut and was playing video games when I heard a strange sound come out from in the living room.
What?
It took me a few moments to figure out that it was a tap on the window. I stepped through the dark living room and out the front door and checked the bushes by the window. Nobody was there. I went back to my room with the door open and resumed playing the game. 5 seconds later, another knock on the glass. This time I ran to the front door barefoot, ready to chase the pranksters. But again, no one was in the bushes.
I'm not chasing nobody.
No one was even in sight. I chose to just ignore it from here on out. On my way back to my room, there was another knock. I ran over to the window to try and catch them. There wasn't anyone outside, but I felt something right above the tip of my toes. I looked down and saw the dark shadow of a figure sitting down by the window. I think I was back in my room in a matter of 2 seconds with the door locked. I was hiding under my bed trying to call my dad. The knocking on the glass continued from outside. When I explained to my dad, he called me crazy for not calling the police, so he told me he would for me and to wait in my room with the door locked. I'd say about 5 minutes later, the knocking stopped, and 10 minutes later, the cops arrived. The figure was gone, but there were no signs of entry or exit, as all the doors were locked and all the windows shut. Still, we haven't seen or heard of anything since then, but it's still creepy as hell to think about.
That was fucked up that your dad thought you was crazy. Like, bitch, if I tell you that there's something in the house, right, or you know, something outside the house, you better believe me. If you don't, that's your fucking ass, because I'm not staying in this house. I'm not staying in this house no more if some paranormal shit happens. The point blank period. I'm gonna find somewhere else to live. Because the fact that you don't believe me, my own dad? What? Man, you gotta be. Oh, okay. Oh shit. But I can't, like. Thank God I have friends that have common sense, because if you tell any of my friends, right, to that shit is creepy, that's a creepy ass house, or that's a creepy ass building, right, and you tell him that, or them, some of my friends, you tell them to go check it out, they're not gonna check it out. They're not. You know why? It's all in here. Excuse me. Common sense. If you tell me, first of all, if you tell me to go check something fucking creepy out, on I don't care how creepy it is. I don't give a damn. If you tell me to go check something out, right, and I'm picking up some bad negative vibes, I'm sorry, I can't do it. There's no amount of money in the world that would you know, allow me to go over there and check it out because I'm not a curious person when it comes to shit like that, you know. So if any, like, I can't, like, your friends, if your friends be checking out creepy shit, tell them that they're fucking up to the max. Tell them Gattor is telling y'all that y'all fucking up. Because, like, if one of my friends ever came to me and be like, hey man, we gotta go check this creepy ass house, bruh, I'm cutting you off at the base. I'm sorry, I don't give a damn how long our relationship, you know, how long we've been friends. We could have been friends either for 2 seconds or 2 decades. If we say some shit like that, I'm cutting you off completely. I'm sorry. I love you, but I can't. You bullshitting. You fucking up. That's a red flag. Sorry. But hey, it's only so much I can say to the people that be bullshitting. It's like you can't reason. It's like, oh man, I don't know what to say anymore. I really don't. You know, fuck. But hey, keep cool, keep clashing. I love you. Stay happy, my family.